Lady tries to steal my dog at the dog park. Holy cow, I actually met one. I've been a long time reader of these stories and I love how cringy the entitled parents are. Well, don't we all? Annie is my puppy who is a chocolate lab / border collie mix and is super friendly and incredibly smart. KM is a kind man. So I've gotten into a schedule of taking Annie to the dog park a few times a week on the weekend or after work. This is to help her get used to other dogs as they make her nervous. Something to know is this dog park is attached to the animal shelter. It's great because if the park doesn't have a lot of dogs, the staff will bring out the shelter dogs to play. Now back to the story. Annie absolutely loves people, and the owners that sit around at the park always fall in love with her as she runs up to them to say hi quite a bit. I always praise her with "Good girl, Annie" when she says hi to one of her friends. I keep my attention on her and notice she starts skipping one of the ladies watching the dogs, but I don't think much of it as she's settling in and starting to play with the dogs. After playing for a while, Annie comes over to me and lays down. She's panting, so I pull out her bowl and water to get her a drink. Here comes EM. "Is this your dog? She's really cute." "Oh, yes, she is, thank you." "Is she a chocolate lab? I hear those dogs are smart and good with kids." "Yeah, she's a chocolate lab / border collie mix. She's super smart. She's just under 5 months and we know a lot of tricks. I have Annie sit, lay, shake and high five me. I use a clicker, so after I click it, I reward her with a treat from a baggie in my pocket. This will come up later." "Wow, it took my dog a year to learn all of those. He's kind of dumb though. Does she know any other tricks?" "Well, she knows behaviour actions like drop it, leave it, down, stuff like that. We worked on those first, so now we're working on fun tricks. She loves learning, so that's a plus." "My kids are going to love her. How much?" Oh boy, here we go. I prepare myself for the approaching scene. I've read enough stories to know what's going on. She's not for sale. She's my first dog and I've wanted one since I was 4. We've had a long road to where we are now and I'm not willing to give her to someone else. Maybe check the shelter? It's right there and they have a lot of great dogs. They bring them over here sometimes and they're super friendly. "I don't want some stupid mutt. I want her. You wouldn't be giving her away. I'd pay for her. How's $100? "No, she's my dog. I've raised her to this point and I'm not selling her. Even if you offered $1 million, I'd still say no. I love this girl." Meanwhile, Annie is oblivious, just drinking her water and sniffing my jacket for the treat bag. "You need to learn to respect your elders. Your generation is so rude." Well, I'd say the same thing about yours. I just get up, pick up Annie's things and motion her to heel. She does, and we walk over to where I clipped her leash to the fence and clip it to Annie's harness. "Get back here! Help! This lady is stealing my dog!" All the other dog owners are looking at us, and Annie starts whining. I reassure her that she's not doing anything wrong and just head for the exit. EM runs and rips the leash off my wrist, leaving me with a red rope burn. The motion yanks Annie to the side and she yelps. "Hey, cut it out! You just hurt her! Give me my dog back!" The kind man approaches us, his cute little miniature schnauzers following him to see what their dad is up to. "Mom, I'm 100% sure that this dog belongs to OP. I've seen her here with her quite a few times." "Shut up, I didn't ask you. Me and my dog are going home." KM goes and stands in front of the gate to stop EM from leaving. EM is shouting at KM, and while she's distracted, I unclip the leash and pick up Annie, who is whining and clearly shaken. EM shouts at me to give her back, and I ask KM to call the police as EM was getting more out of control, and this clearly wasn't going to end without law enforcement. Lucky for us, city buildings like to hang out together, and there's a police station just down the road, and an officer is there within minutes. "What's going on?" I walk up to him with Annie still in my arms. "This lady is trying to steal my dog. She offered money, and when I refused, she just tried taking her." KM backed me up, but EM was still trying. "No, officer, she's taking my dog. I want her arrested." The officer instructs that I put Annie down so he can talk to me. I do, pick up the leash EM dropped and clip it back onto Annie's harness. The officer takes the leash. Annie is wagging her tail and loving that she gets to meet a new person. The officer pets her and Annie kisses his hand, wiggling with delight. Annie then comes over to me to tell me about her new friend. The officer looks at EM. "It seems like this dog belongs to OP. Princess is just doing that because OP has treats in her pocket." Princess? Okay. Annie likes to roll in the mud and is down for a play fight anytime, but I guess EM thought it would fit? Her name is Annie. I do have treats, but it's to train her and encourage her. I also have toys and water in my bag. I have an idea. "Officer, Annie is microchipped and the shelter is right there. We can just have them scan her and it will tell you that she's mine." The officer agrees and we start walking over to the entrance. EM knows that the registration will pop up with my info, so she's trying to stop us. "That scanner is harmful to dogs. I don't want Princess to get skin cancer from the laser." The officer isn't having any of it and tells her to keep walking. At the shelter, the officer gently picks up Annie and the shelter staff scan her microchip. I've pulled out my ID just in case I need to check it. Surprise, surprise, Annie's chip shows my name as her owner, my phone number and my husband's phone number as contact, as well as our vet's info. EM didn't say anything after the staff checked my ID. The officer tells EM to go home. She complies and I take Annie back to the park. The officer stays for a few minutes to make sure she's not coming back. The fact that Annie was playing with him and giving him kisses was just a bonus, I'm sure. She's cute and very friendly. I can see why EM wanted her. Thank you. I've been working on getting her socialised, but she's always loved people. Annie goes back to play with the other dogs and I make sure to find KM and thank him for helping me. The rope burn was sensitive but was already fading. It was an adventure. Always make sure your dog is microchipped. It greatly increases the chance of your dog coming home if they get lost and will maybe shut down a Karen trying to snag them. Well, that is great advice. Oh, and OP has also linked a photo of her lovely dog. What a beauty. Their names are on them. They own them now. EM and Kid steal my video games. So this happened some time ago when I was in elementary school. I had a friend I normally walked home with, so you could say we were pretty close. Anyway, we both decided to go to my place after school that day to have fun with my games. At that time, me and my brother each had a Nintendo DS. So I whipped them out and we started playing. I asked if he wanted anything from the fridge as I was going into the kitchen. He doesn't reply, so on my way back with some food and snacks, I realised that good old buddy of mine is nowhere to be found. I figured he may have gotten bored and gone home. He has that kind of behaviour, so I proceed to put in the games to charge. I then realised they're gone as well, so I figured he took them. We were buddies, but I'd never really given him anything of mine, so them being stolen was a new experience for me. Anyway, I know where he lived at the time and decided to go over there the next day since it was the weekend. I get to his place and a guest of theirs opens up. I immediately see my friend holding my DS in his grubby mitts. I proceed to greeting him and he quickly turned my game in his pocket. I request that he gives them back so I can leave, as I saw when the battery is dead or low a red light blinks incessantly, and as dumb as he was, he forgot to steal the chargers, so I proceed to meeting his mum who is watching TV in the living room. Enter the entitled mum. Hello EM, I came to collect my games back from my friend. He took them from my house without permission yesterday. What games? I point to the rectangular bulge in my friend's pocket. Are you talking about the PlayStations I got for my boys? I was quite lost at this point because she doesn't know what make they are and she still has such confidence. They aren't PlayStation, they are Nintendos and they are mine. Are you calling me a liar in my own home? I got them for my boys for being such good children. At this point she was red with rage. They are very well behaved boys and they deserve the best. Sorry mum, I don't mean to make you mad, but those games are stolen and I want them back please. She then proceeds to shout obscenities at me, even in front of her guests. I then realise there's no point, so I retreat, for now. My parents arrive from work and I tell them the story. My dad goes ballistic, just how I liked. We march over there and my dad smashes the doorbell. Luckily, EM opens up and my dad, being who he is, demands the video games back. EM glares at me behind my dad's leg. I'm now smiling like the Grinch. Hello sir, what games are you talking about? You know damn well what we're here for. Return them before we call the police. The PlayStations? I bought them for my angels and no one can take them away from them. I thought to myself at this point that the games are dead for over a day by now, so I'm sure they've been laying around for hours. EM shouts to my friend and my friend's brother to come downstairs. Show them your games, boys. They show the games which had their names scratched all over them. I start sobbing at the horrible sight. See? The games are theirs. They even have their names on them. Then my dad does the craziest thing after seeing me sob. He snatched the games and destroyed them there and then in front of everyone. I was totally shocked. EM's eyes widened and she was speechless. My dad then proceeds to take us back home and a few days later he got me new Nintendos with like twice the games I had before the incident. He said he called EM and her family and told them never to interact with us again. Haha, dumb EM. So according to EM's logic here, if something has my name on it, I can have it as mine now. So one sec, I gotta go and print off a couple labels with my name on it. Entitled Mum takes my food because I didn't pray before eating. Backstory, my company has large trainings every month and we get enough food from our local Panda Express to feed 80 plus people. I know the owner and most of the staff at this location very well. I live in the Bible Belt and most of the people here express how much they love the Bible. We'll call the owner Sarah. Story, so I stopped by Panda Express to grab a quick dinner before going to see a movie. I'm standing in line with Entitled Mum, EM, and her daughter in front of me. They order and go to a table. I follow shortly after and end up sitting next to them. I start to eat and I hear the daughter say, "Why isn't he praying before eating?" I've heard children make remarks like this before in the area and I just ignore it. But EM turns around and the fun starts. Excuse me, why are you not praying? Because I'm not religious and have no reason to pray? You need to stop living in sin and follow God's path. No thanks, I'm good. You're setting a bad example for my daughter, and as an adult, you should know better. Well, she's not my daughter and I'm not doing anything wrong, so please leave me alone and enjoy your meal. If you're not going to do as I ask, then you're not going to eat until you do. It's at this point EM grabs my plate and turns around. Now, I'm not annoyed or anything, I find this really funny. She tells her daughter, people in this day and age have no respect for God anymore. I walk over to her table and she asks, are you ready to do the right thing? I told her, I'm not trying to upset you or your daughter, but I'm going to need you to replace my food after you've touched it. I'm not going to eat anything a stranger's touched. EM starts to scream at me. No, if you would have done what I asked, you would still be eating and I'm not buying you anything. At this point, people in the restaurant have taken notice and the owner Sarah walks over to see what's going on. Before I could say anything, EM says, I need a manager. This man is upsetting me and my daughter. Sarah tells her that she's the manager and asks me what happened. Don't ask him anything, I'm the one being harassed here. I tell Sarah what's happened and she quickly takes action. I'm going to need you to leave EM as I've been watching from the counter everything you've done to him. If you don't leave, I'll have you arrested for trespassing. EM just starts screaming at the top of her lungs like someone's killing her. An off-duty officer walks over and separates everyone. The officer makes a call for backup and talks to me and Sarah. We let him know what's going on and when his backup arrives, they arrest the EM for disturbing the peace and trespassing. This was amazing and ultimate justice. I didn't get anything else to eat as I would have been late for my movie, but this was worth it and endgame was amazing, FYI. Now, if you enjoyed that video, I've created a custom playlist of my very best Reddit stories that you can go and binge watch right now. So click on the screen and I'll see you over there in a second.